Maximize your life, maximize your energy. We're going to get into more stuff, try to complete a lot of the picture that we've painted so far. I think a lot of good information. A lot of information, period. I mean, it's tough stuff to digest and absorb and try to make changes in our lifestyles. That's always really tough to make changes, you know, setting different standards for ourselves, making time for our exercise, making time for our nutrition, trying to get things rolling. But truly, I think by doing what we're doing, we can set an example for others, our peers that are around us. But more importantly, I think, for the kids that are coming up behind us. Childhood obesity. The statistics are outrageous. Childhood obesity has more than tripled in the past 30 years. The prevalence of obesity among children aged 6 to 11 years increased from 6.5% in 1980 to 19.6% in 2008. More than tripled. The prevalence of obesity among adolescents aged 12 to 19 years old increased from 5% to 18.1%. There's a pattern there. Obese youth are more likely to have risk factors for cardiovascular disease such as high cholesterol and high blood pressure, obviously. Kids. These are, I mean, they never used names like this for kids before. Cardiovascular disease, high cholesterol, and high blood pressure for kids. In a population-based sample of 5 to 17-year-olds, 70% of obese youth had at least one risk factor for cardiovascular disease. 5 to 17 years old. Who are they learning this from? Right? From the adults. So who's responsible? It all comes back to the adults. The kids aren't making, they're making a lot of these choices themselves, but they're modeling somebody, and they're modeling their folks and the people that they watch. So it's even worse in a lot of our kids, I think, than it is with a lot of the adults. Because it's easy to be easy on the kids and not be strict and let them have this and let them have that. But look at the statistics and what it's doing. Children and adolescents who are obese are at the greater risk for bone and joint problems, sleep apnea, social and psychological problems such as stigmatism, and poor self-esteem. Obese youth are more likely than youth of normal weight to become overweight or obese adults. So from childhood, obviously they're more likely to stay obese and become obese in their adult age, and therefore more at risk for associated adult health problems, including heart disease, type 2 diabetes, strokes. I mean, the list goes on and on, right? I mean, that's the short list. That's the obvious list. Okay, so continuing on to our stuff, review real quick. Now we all know this. Where does energy come from? Our cells. Energy truly comes from our cells. What do our cells need to thrive and to survive? Oxygen. We get that from deep diaphragmatic breaths. We get it from motion. We get it from moving. We get it from exercising. Water. We have to drink our water. The minimum of our equation, again, 1/2 ounce of water per pound of body weight minimum. If we sat in the lazy boy all day long, that's the water that we need for our body to produce hormones, split cells, go through its metabolic processes all day long. It needs that much water. If we're more active, more athletic, more stressed, we need to up our water intake from there. The third thing that our cells need to survive and thrive is the ability to eliminate their own waste, which is through the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system only moves when we move. It doesn't have a pump. We're the pump. How important is the body's chemistry? We talked about this in part 2. That's the pH. How important? Extremely important. It's one of the highest priorities of our body, just to make sure that the alkalinity throughout our body remains at the level supporting cellular life. If we're acid, we're killing ourselves. Cancer only lives in acidic states, not in alkaline states. Our energy goes through the floor if we're acidic. Our body's in survival mode if we're acidic. All kinds of different dis-ease, lack of function happens because our body's trying to fight its acid state. Normal tissue pH is 6.6 to 7.4. Our blood pH is 7.36. Our blood pH can't change outside of tenths. That's why medically, most times, if you talk to them about pH or chemistry, they don't go there, because they'll tell you the blood pH can't change because you die. And it's true, but your tissues pay for it. Because if you're putting acid in there, your body's got to do something with it, and your tissues are what's paying for it because your body doesn't want to die. It's in survival mode. All right, here we go. Into the part 3 stuff. BMR. What does that stand for? Our basal metabolic rate. Different than BMI, body mass index, right? So then when they do, okay, are you overweight? And they put in your numbers for body mass index. Basal metabolic rate. What does that mean? It's the basic energy required by each one of us to go through our daily function. Basal metabolic rate, basic energy required, which is the calories. You use energy no matter what you're doing, even when you're sleeping, right? So when we're sleeping, our body's still doing cellular functions, and that requires energy. The BMR formula. The BMR formula uses the variables of weight, height, and age, and gender to calculate the BMR. This is a more accurate way of calculating your BMR and the calories needed based on body weight alone. So there's different formulas out there, but the one that we'll show you incorporates all height, weight, age, and gender as well. So here they are, the BMR formulas. English BMR formula for women. BMR equals 655 plus 4.35 times your weight in pounds plus 4.7 times your height in inches minus 4.7 times age in years. So obviously you got to do a little algebra in an equation. There's BMR formulas exactly like this that you can find on the internet, and you can just punch in your numbers, and then it obviously does the calculations for you, so you don't have to go through the math. For men, BMR equals 66 plus 6.23 times your weight in pounds plus 2.7 times your height in inches minus 6.8 times your age in years. So what this equation is going to give you is probably the most accurate way to know how many calories you need a day to sustain cellular function.
Can you go back on that? I'm
Again.
sorry.
No, that's fine. I know it's a lot of information right there. And again, to make, you can crank it out with your calculator, but you can find that stuff on the internet, and then just there's, you know, the things you can just punch in your numbers and find that.
So this will give us a baseline for the number of calories we need today just to sustain.
Correct. Sustains cellular function, and we'll get more into this so we can explain more about it. That's what. So it's the basic energy required, and energy is calories. Calories is energy.
Right.
Okay. So some people, and we'll get into this, when they go on their diet, when they want to lose weight, they cut their calories way down, and that puts their body into survival mode, and we'll talk more about that. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. So body fat and the set point. So if we diet without exercise, your body creates what we call a set point phenomena. So people that decide that they're going to, first of the year, want to lose weight, the first thing they do is go on a diet. The first three letters of that are die. It makes them want to die because they don't eat and they're starving themselves. And they hate it. They hate to diet. Diet's a terrible thing. But we've learned from the past few talks that we can still eat actually quite a bit of food, but it's the right food that we take in that's going to help our body melt fat off. So the set point. What is the set point phenomenon? A set point is your body's internal mechanism that regulates the amount of body fat you would have normally. So your body sets itself up to how much body fat it would have per what you're doing to it day in and day out to help it survive, because your fat is a place where your body stores extra energy, right? I'll make it come around and make more sense. So set point. After a few days of your New Year's Eve diet of reduced caloric intake, the body adjusts by lowering its basal metabolic rate. The body's smart, not stupid, right? And so what your body does is it says, uh-oh, deficiency in calories. I don't have enough calories coming in. So what it does is it shifts its set point and it lowers its BMR, so now it can run on less calories taken in. But what it's doing is it's saving some of those calories in fat because you're in a starvation mode, a survival mode. So this permits more efficient use of the limited amount of calories coming in because your body's smart, not stupid. So it's taken, okay, I got less calories coming in, I need to hurry up and I need to do something. So this is what your body does. So this automatic biologic response making losing weight while dieting progressively more difficult because your body's storing fat, it's changed its set point, it's lowered its BMR so you can run on less calories being taken in.